Hi guys, it's Nebba. Before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to say a couple of things. This is really hard for me, and I wanted to make sure that before I got into it, that I said that I am not making this video to bash anybody, to insult anybody, or to hurt anybody's feelings. This is a video about my truth, the way that I see it. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about has been dealt with and has been forgiven. And I didn't want anyone to watch this and walk away thinking that I have any ill will, because I don't. The reason that I wanted to make this video today was to maybe help somebody else who's feeling the way that I used to feel and sometimes still struggle with to this day. So having said that, get yourself a coffee or a snack, because I'm not sure how long we're going to go today, but at the end of it, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to the Nebba Network. I'm Nebba. If you're new here and you'd like to subscribe, that would be awesome. And if you want to follow me on my other social media, I will leave that for you here and here. And if you want to get in touch with me by email, I will leave that for you either somewhere here or around on the screen somewhere where I can make it clear. And also too, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because if you don't, you're not going to have any idea when my new videos come up. So that would be cute if you could do that for me. Yeah, on with the video. So I really wanted to talk about something today, and I feel all awkward and it's a little bit weird. I wanted to talk about insecurity, and I wanted to talk about especially when I was growing up. Now, I don't want any of you to think that I don't love my family and stuff, because I do. I'm actually very close with my family. It's just, maybe it was the generation I grew up in, the culture. I mean, there can be so many factors. Just, societal changes that have happened recently. There's so many factors. But I really felt that as a woman of my age, that maybe there is something that I can impart to younger women, and maybe get them to understand a little bit of what it was like for some of us growing up. You see, when I was young, and I have 3 brothers, and I'm the oldest, there was really not an expectation of me doing anything except getting a husband, getting married, and having children. There was no, going away to vacation, in grade 12, for graduation, or, going to parties and all that stuff. That was not something that I did with my parents' knowledge. Like a lot of us, okay? I just touched my nose ring. Like a lot of us, we had to sneak around. And it was just because we were supposed to stay in the house. If we stayed in the house, we could get married and still be virgins and still be pure. But that expectation was never on the males. And I think to some extent, in certain cultures, that is still the case. And it's unfortunate that as women, we are made to feel shame for that. This is my breakfast, by the way. So when I was around, 9, I started to develop. I actually started menstruating and developing, and there's pictures of me that I'm like, it's a wonder that my parents weren't losing their mind, because I did not look my age. And you know, my parents were very strict, and they also imparted in me to be very conservative in my way of dressing, and being that I was, you know, a kid under 13, my life was in like t-shirts, sweatshirts, and jeans, like any other little kid of my generation. So what I'm going to tell you now is probably not for children. So if you have any kids in the room, you may want them to walk away, or you may want to watch this video later. See, when I was 12 and still very much a child, I was raped. It was a random attack, and didn't know him. And it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was June, and it was 1982. I had gone and I'd asked my mom if I could go to the mall with one of my friends. And it wasn't that far, you know? And there was 2 of us. My mom gave me a time when to be home. And the last thing she said to me after "I love you" was, "Don't take the alleyway." Which was strange, because the alleyway ran almost right behind our house. And we spent 3/4 of our time playing in the alleyway. And it was the fastest way to get home. Well, you're 12, you don't think, you know. I went to the mall, and I was running late. And I ended up knowing that if I booted it down the alley, I would make it home in time for my curfew. Well, remember, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's June. I said bye to my friend, and I start running down the alley, which is wide, and it backs onto people's backyards. And, you know, at that time, people had those frost fences. So you're wide open, like people could see you. All of a sudden, I just got this feeling, and I can't I can't describe it to you, that I knew I wasn't by myself. And I quickly turned and I saw a man there, and I just started running. I don't even know. I started running. And it had rained the night before, and I slipped, and I fell hard. And I'm not going to get into the gory details because I don't think it's necessary. I was raped. I got home because I got away. And see, if it was today, you would go to the police station and you would have the police at your house. Like, it would be so different. But I was so ashamed. And I begged my mother. I begged her not to tell my dad. Because I thought that if he knew I wasn't pure anymore, he wasn't going to love me. Now, obviously that's not the case, but when you're a 12-year-old kid and you've been told your whole life your job is to not engage in that activity, you don't understand that rape and sex are two different things, because who in their right mind would confuse those two? But I did. And my mom, whether any of you think that she was right or wrong, as a parent, she made a decision. And I pushed forward in my life. I carried it with me for years. It affected my relationships with boys. And then in adulthood, it affected my relationship with men. Now, a lot of people that are sexually assaulted, they go to extremes. Some become sexually promiscuous and others don't. I was violently opposed to being touched. To this day, I find it difficult to have people initiate touching me, even in a safe situation. And I've never quite been able to get rid of the guilt. I do know from a police officer that my parents know and knew back then that the man that raped me is dead. But he would never tell my parents his name because we never pressed charges. And that's a shame that I live with. So, all I'm going to say is don't do what I did. Don't do what my parents did. Don't ever feel that you have something to be embarrassed about or ashamed about, because you don't. I am grateful for the family that I have, and I love them fiercely. And before anybody thinks for a second that anybody is in a position to judge the decisions they made, remember, look in your own backyard first and tell me that your families have never made mistakes. My parents are very proud of me, and my family as a whole are very proud of me, because I've gone on to have a very full and very successful life. And that is why I'm sitting here telling you about it. Because nobody, if you are sexually assaulted, has the right to steal your light. You have value. Don't you ever, ever sacrifice your value for someone like that. And if you can't deal with this yourself, which you never should, you get help. You go to your doctor, you ask a minister, a priest, a teacher, a parent of one of your friends, anybody, and you get help. Because nobody has the right to control the rest of your life. Guys, this might have been a little heavy today, but it was important for me to share this with you. Please leave any comments below, and let's be respectful, okay? This is a serious topic, and I don't think this is something to take lightly. So I thank you for that in advance. So guys, I will see you tomorrow, and I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Bye.